Welcome to Pokemon Leafgreen, Randomized Nuzlocke. So, normal Nuzlocke rules. The game must be on set, and no items in battle, but held items are allowed. And yeah, all Pokemon are randomized. Every Pokemon is, and so are the trainers. Let's get this started, shall we? Alright, so the options are Clamperl, Delibird, and Politoed. Yeah, these are obviously probably one of the worst choices out there, but considering the circumstances, I choose Politoed. Ah, the king is here. Alright, so first battle fight time, you guys. Delibird, I have the king. 2 water guns do him in. Let's go on crit. Alright, next up is my first encounter, and it's a Pupitar. And yes, I say it like that on purpose. I catch the Pupitar, and I name it Godzilla, because I am very creative, as you can tell by my other videos if you watch them. My next encounter in Route 22 was a Krabby. I catch it, and I put it in the box because extra water type, but hey, I name it Declaro. Next up's Coughing. I catch it, and I name it Coughing. Yeah, I know, I'm clever. And Viridian Force, I find it Exploud. I catch it, and I name it Loud Funny. Time to fight Brock. He used out Typhlosion. I howled, and I took it out 1 Uproar. Next up is his Numel, and 1 Uproar does it end. That was Brock. Huh. Time to go face whatever now. Alright, I get my next encounter, and it is a Machoke. I catch it and name it Chokemaw, in reference to Pokemon Stadium. I buy a Sea King off this guy, name it Magikarp, and put it in the box. Next up is my encounter on Mount Moon. It's a Spinarak. I catch it and I name it Itzy. After a while. Okay. Next up is my encounter outside of Cerulean. It's a Cascoon. Okay, I name it Wurmple. Time to fight Blue. He's off entirely off of Godzilla. I start biting it down. He tail whips. Then I take it out with another bite. Next up is his Swampert. I send out the King. I water gun. It gets critical Mud Shot, so I switch out into Chokemaw. Go for Karate Chop. Uses Mud Shot. I go for Karate Chop again. Next up is an Electabuzz. I send out Godzilla. I bite it. It gives a quick attack. I bite it again. I get paralyzed. I'm paralyzed. I can't move. I'm paralyzed. Can't move again. I bite it. And my Shed Skin's cured. I take out another bite. Next up is his Delibird, his starter. Last up, and I smog it after getting hit with a few presents. I poison it. Then I just keep smogging it down as he hits me with presents, and he eventually goes down to poison. I get my next encounter north of Cerulean. It's a Pincer. I catch it, and I name it Grip. Next up is my next encounter, and it is a Magneton. I catch it and replace Grip, and I named it Trifecta. Yes. I don't know where I'm getting these names from. Next up's Type of Fight Miss. She does have Eevee, a couple Thunder Shocks, put it away. Next up, or it gets real scary. She has a Wobbuffet. So I switch out to the King. So I put it to sleep, then I start water gunning it down. It wakes up 2 turns, hits me with Mirror Coat. I put it back to sleep, then I hit it with Double Slap, just to test something. I hit it 4 times, wake up, goes for counter. I keep trying to use Hypnosis. I eventually put it back to sleep. I take it out with a few water guns, and that was a miss. Route 5, my encounter is a Caterpie. I catch it, and I name it Bug. Getting a lot of Bug and Water types, aren't I? So yeah, next up is my Route 6 encounter, which is a Charmander. I Thunderwaved it, then I caught it, and I caught it. I decided to replace Pupitar with it, and I named it Alright. It's my opinion on it for the most part. Alright, next up I find a Nidoking in Diglett Tunnel. I eventually catch it, and then I call it, and then I call it Simp, and I replace Coughing with it. My next encounter is a Carvanha. I catch it and leave it in the box because that's what it's gonna be. It's a good backup mon. And I name it Archie. Time to fight Blue. I use Ember on his Tangle, but I get put to sleep. I'm gonna sleep for a few turns, he starts growing up, and Ember eventually takes him out when I wake up. Next up, I put it on sub, I just remember. Next up is Exploud. I go for Ember, goes for Uproar. I send out Trifecta to take the Uproar, and then I hit it with Thunder Shock. Then I take it out another Thunder Shock. Next up is Torkoal. I send out the King, he uses Curse. I go for a Water Gun, gives her Smokescreen. I miss my next Water Gun, gives her Curse again. I take it out with the Water Gun. Last up is his Delibird. I decided to go for Pear's Song. Then I switch out to Magneton. Then I just take it out with 1 Thunder Shock. Okay, now that that's over, time to fight Lieutenant Surge. It took me a while to get his puzzle, it's fucking annoying. Thrashman shots Poliwag. Horse Nose gets 1 shot, I get Smokescreen. I miss my next one. He hits me with Bubble. I confuse it with Fatigue. I send out Trifecta. Thunder Shock takes it out. Last up's Altaria. I start Thunder Shock it down. I eventually take it out with the Thunder Shocks. Now lose Lieutenant Surge with the War Veteran. I took it out with Live Fight with Uproar. Actually, never mind. Get my first encounter, which is a Starmie. My next encounter, I should say. I catch it and I name it Patrick. Because creativity is my strong suit, people. Next up, in this KO, you find an Execute. And after it takes an absurdly amount of Pokeballs, after I get it down to low health and paralyzed, it finally gets caught. Yeah. Literally, I think I took like 10 Pokeballs when I was that red and paralyzed. I catch it, and I name it Salad. Yes, people, this is what you're getting here. Alright, my next encounter is a Crowbat. I catch it pretty easily since it has the same catch rate as Zubat. I name it Bat. My Eevee got randomized to a Paris, so I named it Eevee. And now time to fight Erica. She's out with Caesar, I lead off with Simp. I send out Alright, because her agility. Then follow swap, go for Ember, almost killing it. She heals, go for Ember again, almost killing it. She withdraws to Octillery. I send out Trifecta, she misses Octazooka. I use Spark, almost kill it. Then another Spark takes it out. Next up is her Scizor, I Spark, take it out. And last up is her Shroomish. I Sonic Boom, I get paralyzed. Then I send in Alright, I go for Ember, she Leech Seeds me. And then I eventually take out another Ember, and that was Erica. Yay. Time to fight Giovanni. He leads off with Porygon, lead off with the King. I put it to sleep, then I just start bubbling. Well, I put it to sleep, I switch out to Chokemon. He hits me with Psybeam, I hit it with Karate Chops, take it out. Next up is Pidgeot, I send out the King again. I put it to sleep after it hits me with Gust, and I send out Magneton and Spark it. Next up is an Arcanine. I don't know why this dude has the exact counters of my Pokemon or whatever. I send out Simp, and I dig, take it out. And that was Giovanni. Next up, we had to fight Blue, but since Blue went down pretty easily, since I'm pretty over his level, since I took on Erica, I think her name is, beforehand. So yeah, Blue goes down pretty easy. Lombre goes down to a Spark. Next up is his Chinchou, send out Loud, it's funny, I stomped that thing. Then last up is a Shelter, in Mawile. I send out Ite, and an Ember takes it out. Yeah, nothing really. I get my next encounter in this tower, it's a Duskull. I catch it, and I catch it. Okay, at the Duskull, I get my next encounter in the grass left of Lavender. It's a Blaziken, I call it KFC. My next encounter is an Ampharos. I catch it, and I name it Ba'a City. Yeah, real creative guy right here. I didn't know if y'all knew or tell. Next up, I get my next encounter, which is a Mudkip. I keep finding Mudkip. I get that it's not too rare, I guess, considering how little Pokemon there is, but whatever. I call it Best Boy. Then I get a Sceptile. I could have a team of all 3 Hoenn starters if I wanted to. That being said, that's just asking for something to happen. I catch it, and I name it Geico. Probably spelled wrong, because I don't give a shit. Alright, next up is... my next encounter is Kecleon. I call it Kek. The next gym leader is Koga. Leads off with Zigzagoon, one Karate Chop does it in. Next up is Love Disc. I get confused here with a Karate Chop, then I switch out into Trifecta as he heals. A Spark does it in. Next up, so his Wigglytuff, I go for Spark. I paralyze it, go for Spark again. As he heals it, he then Hyper Potions it. Then you go for Spark, then another Spark takes it out. Last up is his Totodile, and a couple Sparks did it in. Alright, time to fight Blue. He sends out Wooper, I lead off Alright. I go for a Wing Attack. As he gets for Amnesia, the Wing Attack takes it out. Next up's Raichu. I send out Simp. I go for one Dig, and I take it out. As he goes for Tail Whips. I get paralyzed though, which is unfortunate. Next up is his Spoink. I send out Loud Funny to hit it with an Astonish. 2 Astonishes kill it as it hits me with a Confuse Ray. Last up is his... next is Ladybug. I send out Alright. I hit it with a Wing Attack, take it out. Last up's Delibird, and a couple Flamethrowers did it in. Because it's dark as a light screen. Alright, this guy gave me a Lapras, but in reality it's a Swallow. I named it Lapras, question mark. Tough by Giovanni, he's off a Dragonite, lead off to King, hits me a Dragon Rage, I go for Surf. And I go for a Hypnosis, but switch out to Tangela. I then switch out to Alright, I hit it with a Flamethrower, and I take it out. I'm gonna take it out one shot. He sends Dragonite back out, I Wing Attack it, bring it to half, I Wing Attack it again, he goes for Twister, not going for Dragon Rage for some reason, so I take it out. Last up's Wurmple, Flamethrower one-shots it. And Xatu, Flamethrower two-shots it. That's the easiest future sight. From the Fighting Dojo, I get a Slack Off, and I name Hitmonlee, question mark. Alright, time to fight Sabrina, she's off a Larvitar, I send out the King, Surf one-shots it. Next up is a Snubble. I decided to stay in. Surf one-shots it. Next up is Starmie. I put it to sleep with Hypnosis. It has Confuse Ray. I switch out to Magneton. She heals it. To full heal. I get hit by Confuse Ray again. I use Spark. Almost kill it. She heals. I hit myself with Confusion. He goes for Swift. I go for Spark. And I take it out. And last up is our Metapod. I send out Charizard. And one Flamethrower does it in. We beat Sabrina. Let's go. Alright, I get my Mansion encounter, which is a Venusaur. And next up is Tim for Blaine. Leads off with Latios. He starts Psyching. I Wing Attack it down. I bring it down to red, but he heals. And another Psychic brings my Charizard down to red. So I switch out and send in Nidoking. Take it. I send out Loud. It's funny. Take out the Hyper Beam. Next up's Moltres. After recharge from Hyper Beam, I send out Politoed. The King and Surf one-shots it. Next up is a Pikachu. I send out Nidoking. Dig one-shots it. The next up he sends out a Suicune. Okay, Blaine just had 3 legendaries casually. I send out Trifecta, Spark one-shots it. And that was Spark took a couple shots and that's Blaine. Alright, Giovanni time. He leads off with Venomoth, I'll lead off with the King. I just Surf it as he paralyzes me and Side Beams, and another Surf takes it out. Next up's Onyx. That's interesting. Surf one-shots it. Pidgey, Surf one-shots it. Next up's Pelipper. I send out Trifecta. He has a Togepi too, where Surf almost takes it out as well. Then Spark one-shots his Pidgey. Now it's Giovanni. What a step down from Blaine in terms of Pokemon, huh? Alright, Blue Rival Fight time. He leads off with Totodile, Spark one-shots it. Next up is Viper, I go out to Nidoking, even Confusion, Dig one-shots it. Next up is a Chikorita, I use Mega Horn, I take it out one-shot. Next up is his Hariyama, I send out Charizard, I wing attack it. If I flamethrower it as it goes for Belly Drum, next to me is Smelling Salt's almost killing me, you know, flamethrower takes it out. Last up is Delibird, I send out Magneton, I hit it with the Sparks, I was honestly scared of it taking me out. Yeah. And then last up, in the Victory Road, I find a Swablu, and I Master Ball it, 'cause it's my last encounter, so why not? I catch it, and I call it Mew4. Alright, time to fight Lorelei. She leads off with a Pikachu, I lead off with Loud Funny. I go for a Hyper Voice, and I take it out one shot. Next up, she sends out a Groudon. I decided to go for Hyper Beam to do damage. I do about a little over half, because we're bulk up. And then it rests as I'm recharging. I send out the King, a couple Surfs, take it out. That's after hitting with a powerful Earthquake. Next up, Steelix, Surf one-shots it. Next up is a Tentacruel. I send out Trifecta, and Spark takes it out. A few Sparks take it out because it's higher special defense. So, that was kind of scary. She sent that out. She sent out a Groudon. Alright, time to fight Bruno. He leads off with Feraligatr, I'll lead off with Simp. Not a bad look. I send in Trifecta, I go for a couple of Sparks, and I take it out. And I'm about to take it out. I take it out. Next up, he sends out a Groudon too, so I send out the King, I go for Slip Surfs. He switches out eventually. After I'm surfing it down, he sends out Execute. I try to put it with Hypnosis, but I missed. So then, after that, I send out Charizard to take it out with the Flamethrower. Send to a Groudon, still asleep, red health, take it out with the Flamethrower. That got lucky, so I'm pretty sure Groudon knows Ancient Power or some shit. And then next up is a Swallow, Flamethrower one-shots it. And last up is a Golduck. I send out Trifecta, Spark one-shots it. Yeah. So yeah, 2 Groudons. Cool. Alright, time to fight Agatha now. She leads off with Espeon. I lead off with Loud Funny. He goes for Psychic. I go for Hyper Voice to do damage. Another Hyper Voice. Then I switch out to Trifecta to tank it. I go for a few Sparks. I eventually take it out, but Trifecta's pretty low off. Next up is a Gyarados. Say and Spark one-shots it. Next up is Aerodactyl. I send out the King. Surf takes it out pretty easily. I'm gonna hit with Ancient Power. Next up is her Raikou. I send out the King, big one-shots it. Last up's a Walrein. I send out Machamp, and one Cross Chop does it in. Alright, time to fight Lance. He sends off with Primate, but lead off with the King. He goes for Cross Chop, but misses. I go for Surf. And another Surf takes him out. Next up's Claydol. I go for Surf. He goes for Cosmic Power. He switches out into Poliwhirls. I go for Surf. I go for I put Poliwhirl to sleep as he goes for Belly Drum. I send out Spark. Spark one-shots it as I send out Magneton. Next up's a Relicanth. I use Spark, and I try to take it out with Tri-Beam. My god, what the fuck? You know what I mean. He heals. I take out with 4 Sparks. Next up is a Claydol again. I send back out to King, as it goes for Ancient Power. Surf takes it out. Then, last up's another Claydol. I try to put it to sleep, but I miss, so I decided to go for Perish Song. Then I switch out into Loud Funny to tank it. I go for Astonishes. And eventually falls to Perish Song as it flinches last turn. That could have been scary. Claydol probably could have done some work on my team if it could. Alright, Champion Blue time. He leads off with an Ariados. I lead off with Loud Funny. A couple Hyper Voices does it, and next up's Golem. I swap out to the King, Earthquake. Then Surf takes him out. Well, he hits me with the Earthquake. I take him out with Surf. Next up is Elike. I send out Simp. Dig takes it out one shot. Next up's Beldum. Dig also takes that out one shot. Then he sends out Wigglytuff. Cross Chop one-shots it. Then last up is his Delibird, and well, yeah, you can assume how that went. It's a Deli. Well, that's a first. We beat it. No deaths. Hope you all enjoyed. I think I just got lucky with the randomization, but goddamn, what are the chances of that, though? 2 Groudons in the Elite Four. My god. I'm surprised no one died. Like I said, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.